Well, the Phillies showed some fight last night. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hats of Media. Cheering happened last night's game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds as the Phillies defeat the Reds by a final score of 7-6 as they take the second game of this four-game series and secure at least a series split. So after we go down by one in the top of the ninth inning, Munoz Sosa with some pretty bad defense, the Phillies, come back and win. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please, or engage about. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Nick Maton, the hero last night, by delivering his first walk-off hit, which was the RBI single. I do not blame Brad Hand, for last night's lone save. Sosa, again, it was brought aboard for his defensive ability. He wasn't, really showing the leather last night. I can tell you that. I was very disappointed. I've been very disappointed with this guy. I don't think that he's been as advertised with his defense. I think he's been extremely disappointing. I just don't know what to say about this guy anymore. He just, I understand we didn't really have to give up much again. Of course, Jojo Romero, who I'm not crazy about since he had Tommy John, but certainly not as advertised, that is for sure. So JT Muto doing his job again last night. This guy's just been so productive. Matt Vierling crushing that home run on the left center field. So we had other guys stepping up last night. It just goes to show you once again how much depth this team really has. As we pick up the scoring summary here in the top of the sixth inning, Mike Moustakas singles on a ground ball to right field, and Jonathan India comes around to score as it's now 1-0 Cincinnati. So Mike Moustakas, the former Kansas City Royal, a World Series champion in 2015, of course did spend some time with the Milwaukee Brewers as well, so that was not a very hard hit ball. Of course, Gene Segura, dove, did whatever he could to try to get it, but unfortunately he was unsuccessful. 1-0 Cincinnati. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Anyas Aquino walks with the bases loaded as Kyle Farmer comes around to score as it's now 2-0 Reds. So there you go, one of my biggest pet peeves right there, of walking someone with the bases loaded. That is unacceptable. It's something that cannot happen. It's something that simply cannot happen. That's just unacceptable. So a shame on Ranger Suarez for doing that. So it's now 2-0 Cincinnati. So you're just giving a team a free run. A free run. Now we pick it up here in the same inning. He does it again. As Jose Barrero walks with the bases loaded, Mike Moustakas comes around to score as it's now 3-0 Cincinnati. You do it twice in a row, back-to-back bases loaded walks. Think about that, back-to-back. How in the world do you let that happen? 2 free runs right there for the Reds. 2 free runs that we just gave them. So Ranger Suarez, I was very frustrated with him in that inning. I really was. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Alec Bohm singles on a grab ball the other way to right field. And Munoz Sosa comes around to score as the Phillies got on board now a 3-1 ball game. So Alec Bohm, the hit machine. This guy puts the bat on the baseball quite a bit. And he hits to all fields, as we've seen this year, especially as we've seen over the last few months of him now hitting the ball more to left field. Of course, this was the other way to right field. And it's now a 3-1 ball game. Alec Bohm drives in the first run of the ball game for the Phils. Let me pick it up here in the same inning. JT Realmuto triples on a sharp line drive to center field. Rhys Hoskins and Alec Bohm come around to score as the Phillies now tie it at 3. So JT Realmuto, not only is he fast as a catcher, but he's just fast, period. This guy now 5 triples on the year. Think about it, he's a catcher, and he has 5 triples already. And this was through August 23rd. Last night, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. 5 triples through August 23rd. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. JT Muto, such an athletic guy, and last night really should prove that. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Nick Castellanos doing some more damage against his former squad as he singles on a line drive to left field. JT Realmuto comes around and scores easily from third as the Phillies now go in front 4-3. This team is just showing such a good amount of fight, right? You're feeling pretty bad about this team and their sloppy defense and their bad execution, because honestly, I would consider that bad execution when you have bases loaded and you walk somebody. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty bad execution. So this Phillies offense, able to come back and still show a good amount of fight, and they were not going to go down quietly, that is for sure. That's something we've been seeing, since the early part of June when Joe Girardi was fired, right? We saw a Phillies team that just, continues to come back and try to fight. And I just love it. Now we pick it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Vierling, homer Sunday fly ball, true left center field. He absolutely crushed that one, his 5th of the season. And the Phillies now extend the lead now 5-3 ball game. So a nice 2-run lead for the Phils right there. So Matt Vierling, a guy that has not particularly had a good month of August, certainly needed that one. So that was nice to see. And of course, Tom McCarthy, John Kruk, Ruben Amaro Jr., Ben Davis all announcing from that field last night. First time since 2018 that they've been announcing on the field. And I believe last time they announced, I believe they were right near the Phillies dugout in 2019. Remember, Bryce Harper hit 2 home runs in that baseball game against the Chicago Cubs. Speaking of Bryce Harper, we'll get to him in a little bit. He also hit 2 home runs last night. Of course, it wasn't in Philadelphia, but it was somewhere else. We'll talk about that later. 5th home run of the season for Vierling. Then we pick it up here in the top of the 8th inning. Adios Okino doubles on a sharp line drive to center field. Lopez comes around to score as the Reds make it a 1-run ball game now 5-4. So Keno had a great rookie season in 2019, he was just hitting all these home runs that year. Jose Alvarado, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and strikes out the side. Think about that. He gets himself in this huge jam, and then he's able to get out of it. So say what you want about this guy. This is really coming from the guy that isn't the biggest Jose Alvarado fan, but he really has done a good job at working himself out of bad situations that he has created. Not only has he, come in and inherited really bad situations, but even bad situations that he creates, he's able to get out of. That's really, really impressive. I love guys that can pitch in the clutch, especially when I see that this bullpen's health just continues to go down the drain. Then we pick it up here in the top of the 9th inning. TJ Friedel triples on a line drive to right center field. Nick Senzel and Kyle Farmer come around to score as it's now 6-5 Cincinnati. So we have Emmanuel Sosa just struggling to make a routine play. The throw bounces up on Rhys Hoskins. He can't scoop. And I even said, listen, I understand that was not a very good throw, but Ryan Howard was just so good at scooping balls up at first base. Literally, there could be a ball that bounced twice and he's able to scoop it out. I understand it's not very easy. It's easier probably for a left-handed first baseman to get it. You have to remember, we do have a right-handed first baseman, which is extremely unusual. Extremely unusual. And it's not natural to have a right-handed first baseman. It's very unusual for that. And, Rhys Hoskins is a guy that's never really done a good job at scooping at first. Occasionally he'll do it, but not the best. And you kind of have to learn to do that. Now, granted, that did go down on Sosa. And, of course, he was smacked with the error, deservingly so. I definitely would put, much more of the blame on Emmanuel Sosa for Rhys Hoskins. But, that's still a play that has to be made. It was a routine play. He played it nice and clean. And then, of course, the very next one, he tried to do the Derek Jeter throw. He should have just ate it. Not much he could really do there. We pick it up here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bryson Stott. I thought this ball was going out, ladies and gentlemen, as he doubles on a sharp fly ball into center field. Gene Segura comes around to score. Nick Senzel with a really just terrible throw out from center field. Absolutely horrible. Should have just been 2nd and 3rd. But Gene Segura is showing some wheels. This guy, a guy that's really in the past showed, tendencies to be lazy. I love that he was really showing some muscle last night. So Stott's 12th double of the season. As I said, I thought that ball was going out. That ball had a loud sound to it. You at least knew the Phillies would tie it there. And then, of course, Nick Senzel, the throw was just so wild. And then you knew the Phillies would win. You knew that the Phillies would come out with a dub. And then we pick it up here in the same inning. Nick Maton made sure of that as he singles on a ground ball to right field. Bryson Stott comes around and scores easily from 3rd. Keno didn't even try to run near the baseball. As that would be your final 7-6 Phillies. Nick Maton with his first career walk-off hit. So we take the first 2 games of this 4-game series, which I love to see. So the Padres do lose last night to the Cleveland Guardians, as we are now 1 game up in the 2nd spot in the National League wildcard. We definitely have an easier schedule than the San Diego Padres, to finish out the season, as I did mention in yesterday's video. We played the Dodgers 9 more times. Thank God we played the Dodgers when we did. We took 3 of 4 and out in LA. My gosh. Out, back there in May. And then, of course, we did lose 2 out of 3 when they came to Citizens Bank. But, thank God we are done with the Dodgers this year. Of course, the Mets aren't. So they still have to play them. Of course, they just got swept out of Yankee Stadium last night in a 2-game series. I still believe that the Mets are still the better team than the Yankees. I will say that. Kyle Schwarber with a leadoff spot, striking out 3 times as he goes hitless. He's had a really, really rough series. He has just not looked good at all. This is a guy that the home runs have really slowed down for this guy. 71 RBIs, 34 tanks. Rhys Hoskins, a performance last night, also drawing a walk. And Alec Boehm also driving in one on the RBI single the other way, also drawing a walk as well. A 293 average for Alec Boehm to go along with a 738 OPS, 57 RBIs for Boehm. And JT Muto, only one hit was a big one, a 2-run triple to tie the game at 3 at that point. So Muto now with 59 RBIs, a 268 average, and a 788 OPS. As I mentioned before, now just 12 points shy of 800, and I would love to see this guy finish with an above 800 OPS. Wouldn't that just be incredible as a catcher? And I certainly would say that'd be a bounce back season. I think the BCIB chirp is finally, starting to come back. You heard it on this channel. I've started to say it. I mean, I didn't say it for a while, for almost a year. I never said the word BCIB. I never said the word BCIB. Because he wasn't the BCIB. Now he's starting to play like the BCIB once again. Nick Castellanos, one knock last night as well, driving in one on the RBI single. Segura scoring the game-tying run in the bottom 9th inning to tie the game at 6. Also drawing a walk last night as well. And Yanya Munoz gets a start in right field and unfortunately goes hitless. And Bryson Stott came off the bench to pinch hit for him as well. I mean, think about that. It was a pinch hit RBI double. Forgot to talk about. Now, as I said, I thought that ball was going out. I really thought that ball was going out. So Bryson Stott, now at a 228 average. This is a guy that, was in the 150s for a while, ladies and gentlemen. 644 PS. This is amazing how much this guy has turned his season around. Over his last 15 games, 2 weeks, 375 average, 407 on base, and a 571 slugging. That's nearing 1,000 OPS over the last 2 weeks. What he's done the past 30 games, so basically last month. 309 average, 350 on base, and a 473 slugging. What this guy has done has just been incredible since the All-Star break. He's been one of our best players, and no one really ever seems to talk about it for some reason. And Matt Vierling, only one hit was a big one, the home run the left center field, pretty much a no-doubter. The humidity wasn't as bad last night. Last night really wasn't that too warm of a night. Of course, it's still August, though. And Munoz Sosa one knock last night, also going out on strikes twice. But I just major disappointment. When you bring a guy on board, basically solely for defensive ability, I expect a lot. I expect a lot. I understand I was, kind of saying some things about Jojo Romero, but now with this bullpen's health kind of being a problem, that would be a guy that you'd like to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, I'm very disappointed. I've been very disappointed. Nick Maton coming out the bench to pinch hit for him, of course, delivered the game-winning RBI single. Think about that. So the two guys that drove in the 2 runs in the bottom 9th inning both came out the bench. That's not easy, and that shows a team that has depth. Ranger Suarez 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned, 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. I'll be honest, not very impressive. He was really cruising for the 5 innings, but once he got to that 6th inning, he really struggled. 3.38 ERA for Ranger, which is still very impressive for a guy like him. I mean, 4 walks. He didn't have good control last night at all. Walking in 2 runs with the bases loaded. How in the world do you do that? Unacceptable. Michael Plasmeyer making his Major League debut last night, a nice clean inning and a third, able to come in there in the 6th inning, get the final out, and then pitch a scoreless top of the 7th. Collecting his first Major League strikeout, and Jose Alvarado pitching in the clutch, 2nd and 3rd, no out. He last the RBI double to Aquino, and then he strikes out the side after that. So pitching in the clutch, a 4.34 ERA for Alvarado, and he's really just been so good. He really has just been so good. Recently, there's no question about that. A guy that I've certainly been down on in the past. I mean, a 1.29 ERA his last 7 appearances, and for his last 30 appearances, a 2.77 ERA. I love his ability to pitch in the clutch. And Brad Hand, an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, none of them were earned. He also collects a strikeout, a 1.91 ERA for Hand, his 2nd blown save of the season, last blown save since the blown save he had in Washington in June. And Hand gets the win now, 3-1 on the year. Wasn't very sharp in that inning, but bad defense from Munoz Sosa. I mean, really was just a key contributor in that. So the Phillies take the 2nd game, now are 68-55 on the season, 13 games over 500. Duke on the mound for Cincinnati tonight, 0-2 with a 13.50 ERA, going against Chris Sanchez, 1-1 with a 3.80 ERA. Little injury update just to make it quick. Bryce Harper launches 2 home runs last night in his return in Lehigh Valley. Right? So he's rehabbing Lehigh Valley, launches 2 home runs. 1 to right field, goes Oppo the other way to left field, a 3-run shot. So he is back in business. Who's the new guy, right? The new guy in town. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please engage your bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link. It's exclusive section at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram, Instagram, family, on Twitter at Hot Stove Media. Card text 267-225-3092. Email me, phillieshotstovmedia@gmail.com. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phillies. See you guys.